Show me the way to go home. You know,
We've got to get that chat playing. I need to get that chat playing.
I was going to
Right,
sing more of
Evan.
that there in case, but Zuckerberg will probably cut us off. Everybody, I know loads of people. You're tuning in tonight on the expectation that we'll be both paralytic because we've been out all day. Because we had the Jolly Boys outing. Yay!
We did. It was a really nice day out, actually. Lovely
We
day
had
out.
a lovely
Lovely
day
day.
out. Just thank Karen, the driver, by the way.
Yeah.
Top girl, really, really nice girl.
Yeah.
Who I think enjoyed the day, the tour as well. You know,
This sort of sums it up. We had the four apostles with us. You know, Frank was there, even all. Peter Stewart said, "So you made it home?" Yes, we made it home. We Marty just about made it home. Just about made it home. I've been home for a couple of hours, but by the time I run around, start the computer, upload the photographs, do everything, they still aren't in the right order, but it doesn't make any difference.
That's because you only got them about 5 minutes ago.
It doesn't make any difference. Doesn't make any difference. So
No.
Johan Strand saying hi. Sean McClanahan, yes, he made it home too. And let me see. Julie Mason says hello tonight. Mark Kerr says hello. There you go, as well. And Thomas Jones, hi everyone. And Mark Diamond, there you go. He missed out. Mark Diamond. Looked your post on Facebook today. Loved your post on Facebook today. I think he's meant to say, and it was a really, really good day. I mean, I think we just made it just before another lockdown's coming, Marty. But do you get that feeling?
Please don't. Please, God, no. We'll not have another lockdown. I can't be another lockdown. It just would be. Right. Anyway, I wouldn't doubt it because, to be fair, you see people out. Lots of people are not wearing masks. They're not really paying lip service. They're paying lip service to some of this stuff, and at some point, the health service is going to have to pay the price for it. So anyway, we'll not go on any runty stuff tonight because we had a really, really good day out where we went down to Sliabh, down to it's not finished. It's not finished by any means. There's a lot of work.
What does that look like, Marty? What does that look like?
Well, what's that not going to look like when there's a bridge over there and there's a bit of landscaping going to be done, as was all explained by one of the. I mean, there's loads of nice people in Irish whiskey. I mean, there's lots and lots of fantastic people in Irish whiskey. We were down for one, met one today, and when you go down and you see what they've built, what they are building, and you appreciate what they've come through because they've been through a lot of hard times in the last few years, and now you start to see, ta-da, and it's all just coming together. Now that picture doesn't really do justice to just how close to the town it is.
Yes, because obviously everything's blocked out of it. It really is. It's within walking distance, even if you're an American to the town.
Now, you can't be saying things like that. Knowing that we go out on tours, knowing how far an American can walk when they're on tour, which is at least 7 or 8 feet most of the time.
Well, listen, we might get Zuckerberg stay and stuff like that. They would decide to take ownership. William, thanks for the chauffeur driven limo home tonight. That was lovely. Yes. Thank you very much for
that. Thanks for leaving me up to Lauren.
There's
Mark Jackie for coming to get me as well, because obviously I can't drive.
Is Mark Bingham American? He maybe is, because he says he's so bummed I missed the trip. No, you're not bummed. All right. All right.
When you go down, now it's a bit of a rough road to get down. Let's be honest. It's down in Ardara, and the road's a bit bumpy and a wee bit curvy. Best to take a few what do you call them? Travel sickness tablets on the way down. But no, it's a beautiful setting, and going down to see James and seeing all of what he's doing and how it's been thought out, played out, and where it is and why it's where it is has been it's been fantastic. There's number one crocodile hunter in Ballymena, saviour of small children and dogs, Don McEwen coming on asking, does anybody have a cure? Whiskey cures everything, Don. Everything, pop. Saving the world. So it is.
Good evening. Listen, everybody's getting this. Gerger Rosinski saying good evening as well. Listen, we really like your support. Thank you very much for watching. It is a packed show tonight. We have photographs of everything. Didn't even video anything. It was that interesting. I was more interested in listening to what he was saying than video them.
Hi, I noticed you were listening to him. You never listen to me. You never listen to a word I say. Well, go all the way to Ardara. Oh, I no problem. All ears you were.
I do listen. I have to pretend I don't listen to you, otherwise I might learn stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. We've got to watch out for the red Satorona and avoid them like the pig. I love Satoronas, but certainly that person driving.
There's one driving.
Self-driving cars. There's nobody in the car, but anyway.
Yeah. Oh,
that was the
there was a just to clarify, Karen, our driver today, from Coach Connections, we were stuck behind a Seat who, I don't know if she must have got her driving license out of a lucky bag. The woman driving was just cuckoo. Yeah, it was just.
I think the best one was where she went into the other side of the road on a blind hill summit as she went uphill. That was bizarre, you know. Oh yeah, and then she indicated right and went left.
Yeah,
not left and then
left, but she wanted to turn left, indicated left, and then turn right. But it was just that we're stuck behind her for a period of time. But luckily we had Karen, who thankfully wasn't on the booze, had stayed off that and kept the thing behind kept the coach between the hedges.
She was really interested in the distillery itself as well too. She did the tour with us, which was very nice as well. Very nice.
Nice one. Right.
Yes.
I have to pour myself a whiskey, so I will pour myself a dark salty. The one thing I will say about Sliabh Liag, you see when they say cask strength, they fucking mean it. Sorry, pardon me for swearing. Sorry, Zuckerberg. You know, when I'm talking about cask strength, you know, that's your cask strength there. 64.5. You know, there's ain't no messing with these guys. They mean business. And yeah.
I think that isn't one of the casks. That's actually the barrel, a decoration barrel. But I'll put that up on the screen. There you go. That's what it looks like whenever you go there. Look at that there. That's a cask. We had the samples in that. The samples are sitting in that. Fantastic it was too, and all.
Right. We'll talk about it in a wee minute because this is 64.5, so it needs a fair wee bit of water just to bring it down. First off, Peter has just pointed out he likes how the distillery is involved with the village, and here's an indication of just what they mean by that. All of the electrics were done by local electricians. All the building was being done by local builders. All of that, and they haven't built a car park at the distillery. Because the idea is there's a car park just where we took that photograph of the distillery. You're in the car park. So the idea is you have to park there and walk across. So you have to park in the village to walk across. They are not doing food. They're not doing any of that at all.
I can actually more or less show this if I put this one on big. So we're actually in the distillery, right? And if you look across, they call that the show field or the showground field when they used to do fairs like that there. Where that round thing is there, just to the right of the still there on the right-hand side, that is actually probably where we took the picture from.
Yeah.
So that shows you how close it is. I mean, it looks further away than that, but it's actually not even the length of a football field away from it. Yeah. And that's how close it is.
And the idea is that you'll do that, park there, then you're going to go to you can't eat in the distillery. So you come see the distillery, do your tour, then go and eat, or eat vice versa. And that's what we did. We went in Nancy's. Yeah, fascinating the way it's been done, and it's really nice. Some of the little touches that are involved in it. They went down, and again, there's lots of building still going on. So it's not open essentially to the public just yet. So we were quite privileged to get down in and have a look around before anything really gets up and running. First thing you do, you go in and you go up, and he tells you it's a grains in distillery. And when he says grains in, what that means is a lot of the time you'll get your mash tuns, you'll get your grain in, you run it through your mill, break it up, put it into a mash tun, put your water through it, and basically run off to try and get the sugars out of the grain. That's what we try to do. Try and get that wash coming out. So there's this grains in, and it's grains in all the way through to the first distillation. Now, if you, in terms of pumping all that about, it's like pumping porridge through pipes into a still, and it's really, really, really difficult to do. Really, really difficult to make something like that. Imagine trying to boil a liquid out of a bowl of porridge. Okay, it might be a bit watery porridge, but stuff sticks to the bottom of it, and it's about stopping that from happening. Now they're wanting to make, it's peated whiskey they're making down there, peated pot stills and peated single malt. And there's a real danger that it's going to start burning on the bottom of the still. So it's just a complicated process. It's very, very difficult to do, and they are still utterly in their infancy, and they've lots of experimentation to do. So you can see
I can actually show. It took me a while to find it because we haven't gone through the photographs in order there. And there's literally dozens of photographs. That's what it looks like. It looks like looking through the porthole of the Titanic. That's what you would see when the iceberg went past.
Pull that up full screen a wee bit if you can.
I can just make it a wee bit bigger, that one, because it's done that shape. There you go. Yep.
But you can see that's actually basically the mash into the still. It's just difficult to do. It's about capturing as much flavour as possible. Just really, really quite difficult. Quite difficult.
It is, and it's just the room in the place was absolutely fantastic. It was. You had that real.
Yeah. Hey, Frank has made a comment. Above the distillery, they have the 3 crane beams, and they're painted bright yellow. And the reason they're painted bright yellow is because, Justin, were you listening?
They're from Harlem Wolf. He loves Harlem Wolf. He loves Harlem Wolf.
They're not nicked. They're not stolen from Harlem Wolf like everything else that was taken in Harlem Wolf. No, they're painted as a homage to Samson and Goliath.
I was just looking up. Do you want to see my light? Do you want to see my light? Does my light look like it's stolen from? Oh, it's a Killicone lampshade from Harlem Wolf. Oh boy, you couldn't make it up if you tried. It wasn't stolen. It was acquired.
Oh yes, it was an auction. Some auction somewhere. No, but you want to run through some of the photos there? We'll just talk about.
I do. I'm trying to find the one of the beams. Looking up, and I have. I found it. There you go. If you look up there, you can see the beams. Do you see that? Yeah. There's the beam there.
And that's those. I know Samson and Goliath in Belfast because he likes them. Now he expressly says in it he wants people to look up, and that's why some of the design features, like the big yellow beams, when he tells you that, he gets everybody to look up because he thinks it's quasi-religious, if you like. You know, if you go to a cathedral the idea, if you look at a baptismal font and a baptistry in a cathedral, normally what you have is a black floor, then you have a red in the middle, and then white above that. The idea is, in a church, in a cathedral setting, it's black is original sin, red is the blood of Christ, and white is redemption, and purity. So the idea is you look down up to the heavens, and that's kind of it. And it's three touches like that you really, really like.
Seamus Tobin says, "Is it not Kavanagh Crane?" Very good, very good, Seamus. I like that. I like that one.
What was the one that used to? There used to be a company come into Michelin. What was that?
Robinson Crane Hair.
No, it was the one in Belfast. They're always in the place. Can't remember. I've had a bit too much today.
All right.
Earlier.
There's Peter Galbraith saying, "Long time no see, lads." That's right. We haven't heard that name in a wee while.
No.
Where have you been, Peter?
Oh, listen, Peter. Where have you been, mate? Where have you been?
Right. Don't know. Yeah, we get new names popping up all the time, and unless you click in every week and we see it in the list, we don't often.
We sometimes can miss it.
We miss people. Mark Kerr, we always miss for some reason because he always tries to be first every week. But Julie's been beating him. Julie's been beating him this week. I'm not surprised. You know, Beatty's and the Higgins, two other Crane Hires. We can't remember the names of the Crane Hire companies, but there you go.
Now,
well, there's a question asked there that was that answered today? When's he hoping to open to the public?
He didn't actually say, but it'll be next year, obviously. With COVID, it's probably. I did ask him earlier on, and he was a bit, well, whenever we get this done and that done. But
yeah,
with COVID and the way numbers are heading at the minute, it's probably.
He's technically still in the commissioning phase, isn't he?
Yeah.
Forsyth are coming back next week.
Yeah. Now Forsyth have done everything in there.
Oh,
and Forsyth.
There we go. We shouldn't have asked. Listen, I hope he's on the mend, Peter.
Oh, sorry,
Peter. He's on the mend. Hope he's on the mend. Hope he's on the mend. Yeah, you know. We'll cheer you up. This is what Julie said. Julie's an American. She said, "What great beams." That's like something that Picard would say to the transporter chief. What great beams.
Engage
or something like that.
There. No. When they're going to open for tours, well, they need to do the work first, and then with COVID and so on. Now that they've actually started distilling.
Oh boy, what a show we have tonight. Martin, did you drink whiskey or white lightning round the high raised flats back in the day?
Well, up at the top of Dunclug, you could have drunk Henny God's pile of stuff back in the day. I might not even remember. Steiger, Strongbow, and Clan Dew. Lovely.
I actually usually had Shadow Lafitte on a Friday night on the way round to the Scouts, but anyway, that's another story. I actually know somebody, right? Now, do not try this at home, folks, right? Do not try this at home, right? It's not a Zuckerberg thing. This guy was in the French Foreign Legion, and I kid you not. You know, in that Ninja Warrior stuff that your man that does Tipping Point does with the ex-footballer guy on TV, where you put your back against the thing and you put your feet and you walk up the wall. Right, so I'm in the screen.
That's the quiz where they put the wee discs in you.
No. The Ninja Warrior thing. You know, where you put your back against this side of the wall and your feet over this side of the wall, and you squeeze them together and you walk up the wall like that there. I know somebody climbed up as their party piece. They climbed up the flats because you know the way they had balconies and a gap and a recess. They climbed up the gap of those tar blocks with their back against the feet. Now, I'm not joking you. It must be 200 feet. Is it? They're 200 feet high, are they?
If you'd have been in Dunclug back in the day, there's boys done that, pissed, climbing up the outside of the wall. They might have climbed back down again as well.
Okay.
While sucking windows. Very strange place.
Window lickers. All right.
Oh, no. I see Graham saying they're looking for 2023 to open from tours. They mentioned that today, but they mentioned that 2023 is probably likely, but they could try and be open before that. They're not sure, but there's lots of building work going on.
Hope he makes a ton, Peter. Hope he makes a ton.
Peter, all the best, mate.
Now, think they're aiming for 2023. Yeah, that's what he heard at Whiskey Social. That, he hasn't a lot to do, but he's got a lot in the pipeline planned.
Yeah, just there's lots of finishing touches to be done, but the actual building is there. They're distilling, which has the stuff coming out. We actually got to taste a bit of the new make today. Yeah, I think everybody was wildly impressed by just how good the new make is. See, look how intent and keen you look listening to James. Oh yes, James, tell me. I tell you stuff and just start talking to other people. Ignore me.
No, I was it was pretty intense. I love the way this wee window here. The light shines through it, and then they stand over the gauge, and they can actually see the foam coming up through it. I thought that was the still that when old Mr. Forsyth he designed it. He says we've never seen one like it before because it's sort of offset, so it has to bubble over when it's going. I thought that was fabulous. No,
James told us this when we interviewed him that he's designed the still as a sort of homage to back in the day when they used to do a grains in distillation, and he's moved the Swan Neck over offset it because it used to be there was a rummager down in. Basically, if you don't know what a rummager is, it was a copper chain on a wheel essentially, and it went down in and it sort of spun around and just kept everything moving. But they do a different system now where they pull out the liquid, reheat it, put it back in again, and move it and do it that way. So there's no direct heat onto that still, which is really quite impressive. And I thought that for size, I've heard for size, if you order a still now, it's like 2.5 years before you're going to get it. They're that
because so many people have put in orders. Yeah,
so many people are putting in orders for new distilleries. So yeah. That's the fact that they came over here and
you can nearly have whiskey in that time if you got it.
Oh. But then you have their mark on it. And whenever they're putting the mark on it, they're going to stand over it,
Everybody says we're looking very respectable after the distillery, but that's because we probably did drink Buckfast around the flats when we were younger, and it has
stood us in good stead.
It stood us in good stead, yeah.
Whenever we were on the distillery, we tasted it. Very respectable. On the way back on the bus, we had a bit more. And we got a wee treat. We got treats for the guys that were there. People who didn't come missed out.
That's it. The clear sample was amazing, even before it's put in the barrel. It was.
The new make bags of flavour on it. Bags of flavour. Yeah. And that, to be fair, was at what, 7? Was it 75%? He said he draw that off at.
It is. Are we allowed to talk about the other thing we tried? The one that's to do with the top of the hour?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's coming out.
Yeah, midnight. Midnight is
you have the silky, dark silky, and then midnight silky is going to come out, and it's much heavier peated. Although the sample we tried, it was loads of peat in it, but it's not phenolic like Ardbeg or Lafroig. It's
weird. It hits you after.
Yeah, it's
hits you after.
If you're ever a smoker or an ex-smoker, whenever you pull it, it's that kind of almost cigar-y effect to it,
It's impressive. See, the shape of the photographs keeps on changing, so I'll have to change the shape of the screen there. There you go. But yeah, fantastic stuff. They were lovely treats. They were lovely treats indeed. Now, what else have we got to do? It's 22:25. Remember to comment, like, and share. Hit subscribe on Facebook if you haven't already. Follow us on Facebook. Like us on LinkedIn or whatever it is you do on LinkedIn. I can't remember. Instagram as well.
Connect on LinkedIn.
Connect on LinkedIn and stuff like that there. I'll run through some more of these photographs here. What are we looking at there, Marty?
You need to pull that up. That is where they control the temperature of the wash still. So what you're looking at there is a window that goes right through the neck of the still. So if you can see
it's cooled in there because it's cooled twice or something like that. There isn't in that.
No, but what happens is that goes up. There's no direct heat to the still, so all the liquid is pulled out, heat it, and pumped back in again to keep it agitated. But that comes up through where it's bubbling. If it's bubbling too much, they can turn it down, and that stops it tipping out over the top and into the condenser. So yeah, it's so well thought out, really, really well thought out. And it's just it's nice that you can look straight out from there, straight out through that window.
Better photograph of it there, but wider aspect. Yep. I'll hit her on here, see if we have another one. There you go. That's looking up at the beams again. And that's a barrel with the samples. And let me see. That gives you an idea looking further back. And you can see there's room for expansion in here too, Marty, as well.
Yeah, they're trying to future-proof it for. That's what you have to do, I suppose. You have to future-proof it for when they expand, and hopefully they will. That's what they're looking for.
That's the idea of the beams as well, because the beams mean you can put a crane on and crane stuff in and out.
Bring
as well.
things in.
They're not just structurally, they're not decorative, they're functional as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'll flick on through because there's quite a lot of photographs that go through here. There's me looking intently,
again,
and in anticipation, in anticipation,
When
I know the photograph's been taken, I'm like, oh, those other ones will be holding up a glass next like this. I'll be holding up a glass next. Yeah, it was really, really, really interesting, really, really revealing, and
there's James and Moira there, by the way, on the left hand side. The creator of Andolan, the botanic dulse inspired gin, and she distills that, and James is extremely proud of her for doing it. He's extremely proud of her because she doesn't have the background in spirits that he does.
Good, wonderful. I'll flick on through. What else we've got tonight? Yeah, that was the new make. I think that was the new make we tried.
That's the new make. That was basically run off the still that day, or sorry, yesterday. It was run off yesterday, and it's sitting up in a holding tank, which is quite interesting with a picture of it as well, I think.
Yeah,
and that bags of flavour.
We look on through, and then this was. That's down below because this is it's very accessible if you're working at it. You're on an actual mezzanine level, and the stills are on stilts, but they aren't on stilts because everything, all the gubbins is underneath it as well, and it's just
it's really, really well thought out.
It's a thing of total beauty, total beauty,
and it's going to get more beautiful. Now, one of the things is if you invest in the company around the stills, they're going to put wooden nameplates around the stills, so your name will be there forever and a day. Now, these are heating jackets on around the tanks, or winter tanks.
Let me see. What else have we got there? More heating tanks. That's looking up.
Yeah, that's the bottom of the stills.
So that's looking up from the bottom of the stills, and then
I see. Seamus is asking, did you just buy a barrel? What they're saying is that next year is going to be the big push for selling barrels. €6,000, not bad at all. Not bad.
Yeah, I think we've got a new guy starting to coordinate or something like that. Haven't they said yet? Something like that.
It's going to be 6,000, and you can't. Because they're at the stage now where they are, the owners will still talk to you. The owners will do doing various things. Anything you really want, they'll try and help you out. You know, they're really, really nice people. Yeah, really nice people.
There we go. Gary Malloy saying hello. He's a former bartender at Nancy's.
Silky all the way.
Yeah. So, yeah, Silky all the way. What brought? Oh, Stockholm. He looks like he's in the business from his little photograph there.
He says it's something to do with McMyra, no?
Yeah, I don't know. Seamus Tobin says he'd do half
a cask.
Have a cask. Stanley Sung saying good evening. Yeah.
I see someone asked me about Terry Donnelly asked me about my thoughts about Proper 12. I'll do that.
Yeah,
all you have to do is watch the show a few weeks and you'll hear me talk about Proper 12 at some point. It's
So basically, Nancy's is a pub in the town. That's taken more or less from the back of Nancy's, and that's what it actually looks like. And I probably have somewhere in here the front of Nancy's, and I will click through and I will find it. That's what the click and noise. Nancy's front. That guy I was talking to was the owner of Nancy's, by the way. I think. Oh, you were having dinner when I was talking to him. So that's Nancy's. Their 7th generation it is, by the way. Very, very, very nice. Very great new menu there. And I had fish and chips. And it wasn't too little and it wasn't too much. You know, we sometimes overdo the fish and chips and you can't eat it. I had room for my Chris to go with my whiskey on the way home.
Unreal. Now, whiskey on the way home. For anybody who didn't come, this is the whiskies that we brought along just to taste. And so what we got to sample on the way home provided was, well, we bottle killed Dunville's James Fox. We bottle killed that. I think everybody enjoyed that. We bottle killed that because we had Silkies. Then what we had was, I'll let everybody get a little sample of the Gaia Biodynamic. Everybody was really impressed with that. And then we had our friends down at the Earl series. We had the Great Earl. Finished in Sangiovese wine casks. A couple of people thought it was a bit too sweet and then asked for seconds. So that was what we had on the way back down home again on the bus. Now, it was quite difficult to get it poured out because we were sort of bumping about a bit, but we were very careful. Don't worry, we were very careful, don't spill any. And that's why we were quite well behaved. But no, that's what we had on the way back down again. So all in all, I think everybody would have to say,
I'm only sending them myself. They aren't coming to you. Don't worry. I've got photographs of the interiors of Nancy's to show you. So I'll hide this and then I'll bring them on. I'll bring them on screen. Yes, it was quite good. Somebody was asking us there about another question was coming in. Did you see that one there about did many people get the Jameson 21?
Whatever allocation. Well, you see, they don't ship to Northern Ireland, which is disgraceful, in my opinion. They ship to the Republic of Ireland, they ship to Great Britain, they ship to Switzerland, they ship to all these other places, but won't ship to Northern Ireland. Now, lots of other sellers and purveyors of spirits ship to Northern Ireland, no problem at all. But if you enter the ballot and happen to win, then they turn around and say, "No, we don't ship to Northern Ireland." Why? I don't know. And don't blame Brexit because Irish malts ship there, James Fox ships up here, Celtic Whiskey Shops ships up here. All of these people ship up here. James can ship up, etc., etc. And but they won't. So I couldn't really be bothered. They can keep it, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, this is Jameson 21.
It's very sort of oldie worldy. It's like somebody's front living room with all the sort of crockery and delf and all the rest of it, and stuff like that. Knickknacks sitting around inside Nancy's. So if you're down that way, there's lots of lovely places to eat, but would recommend Nancy's because we tried it. There you go. John Dunn, agreeing with you, saying, well said, Murray.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that is not true. It's just pathetic. Everybody wants to blame Brexit and all this. And okay, it does cause stuff, but just pish.
Don't mention the war. Ballot is crazy business. That means I didn't get one.
Yeah, well,
sorry about that, Michael. I must have got yours. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm bad. Bad.
You're bad. Will we do the news, Justin? Will we do the news?
We'll better do the news. I've got loads more photographs to go through.
Oh, well, hurry up and go through them quick.
Well, I'll go through a few more. Where are we up to? Have we done that one? That's out in the warehouse.
Aye, that's out in the warehouse. What they do is, once the spirit's distilled, they pump it up into the one on the left is the single malt tank, and the one on the right is the pot still tank. And it's kept, you see where they fill in, just above the second band there. What they do is they fill those tanks, and they can only go down, they can only pump out down to that second band. And the idea is, excuse me, if something in the eye,
25% mark or something like that. Yeah,
that it's actually kind of like the Solera method. That in that it's not adding to the flavor really, but what it does is it means that from day one the spirit's going to be in there, and they're never going to empty the tank. So there's always going to be a little bit of every single fill of that tank ad infinitum. Tiny time. It may be in 100 years' time there's a molecule or a bit, tiny little bit, but there's always going to be a little bit. And it's just, again, it's about taking that heritage on and doing stuff with it, And
that's taken from the warehouse looking towards the distillery. It comes over there in a pipe, and they actually have compressed gas to clear out the pipe between the two. That's more down there.
The man himself.
James himself. That's looking up. The stills are behind us, and that's looking towards the what's going to be up there is the boardroom on that top level there as well, and stuff like that. I'll flick through the remainder of the photographs here, and I think you've more or less seen it. That's the spirit safe there. Spirit safe with different exposure. Looking back.
And that's us looking back over the river. Now they're going to build a bridge. They're paying for it. They're going to build a bridge across there and do some landscaping. And anyway, great day out. Great people coming along. Anybody who didn't do it, oh well, missed out. I am sorry.
There we go. Oh, well, there's Darren Barney Milligan. Got a day of missed today. Had a wedding to pipe in Donegal, close to where you were at. I passed the wedding on the way home. Have you heard anything about them? Funny, we were talking about them on the way up and way down, or the way down, were they? Yeah.
Well, we've interviewed them. You want to go and have a wee check back on YouTube. If you subscribe to YouTube, you wouldn't miss any of these.
Yeah.
So all I do is scroll through YouTube. We're not going to tell you which one it is because Justin tags them up and doesn't always put in everything that's on it. So have a wee look through.
It's welded one. It's one called Wild Atlantic Way. I'll try and find it here. In the meantime, with 20 minutes left of the show, we've done it ours about face tonight. We'll have to do this.
Great stuff. Now, everyone has been talking about this, that's seen this video of Pernod Ricard, who own Irish Distillers and Jameson and all that, and dozens and dozens and dozens of other brands, are building a new distillery in China called the Kuan. I hope I pronounced that right. I don't know whether you pronounce it sort of from over here or in some sort of Chinese, Mandarin or something. I'm not sure. Chuan. and it's rather beautiful. Now, they are taking water from the Imai, which is known for its pristine, clear waters. And it's rooted in the philosophy of dichotomy, which is two opposites which complement each other and all of that kind of stuff. It's all that architectural stuff. But it is rather beautiful. And we do have a video of it.
I think we do. I think we do. I was nearly going to play the wrong video there, but we do, because in no particular order, because we haven't lined in. That's why we did it the wrong way around. But here we go.
That's because Marty was only in the house about 5 minutes before.
Is this it?
Oh yes.
Is this built already, Marty?
I have a funny feeling it's not. This is what.
And these are like computer generated things. This is what it's going to look like. God, it looks pretty real to me. That
the only thing is knowing how things work in China. This could be built in about 3 weeks. Might not last 3 weeks, but
looks like a set of a James Bond movie. This.
Yeah. That's
wow.
That's the water coming in through the roof. I reckon they should build one like this in County Down, where the builders just can't be arsed finishing the roof.
Free water. Of course, that looks fantastic. Oh, this must be built already. Wow.
It does look beautiful, doesn't it?
It does. I expect to see 007 run around any minute. It's poured concrete. Looks like the outside of Jordanstown University. Oh, that looks like Logan's Run. That's the set of Logan's Run. Logan jumps through that waterfall, runs there, and Peter Eustace comes out. It does. It is Logan's Run. That's definitely Logan's Run. Look, there's people like Logan's Run. All right. That's what living in China is like. It's especially if you're a tennis star.
You disappear down a forest somewhere.
Oh boy.
You have to say it does look absolutely fantastic.
It does. Wow. That looks like the centrifuge in Moonraker is in there. You look in there and you see it. It actually does, doesn't it? There's Julie Mason loves Logan's Run. There you go. I didn't even know you knew what that movie was. Are we getting a free flight there?
I wouldn't mind one. Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody high up in Pernod Ricard? No. There's James and Murdoch. Sir, you're late to the party. We've been singing your praises for the past 40 minutes. You've missed it. You'll have to hit rewind when it's over. Thanks very much for today. It was fantastic. Fantastic, mate. Fantastic.
There you go.
Yeah.
Must be built already. Hold on to hide that. You can see what I'm looking up on YouTube. Let me see.
Where are we?
That's it. We're back in the room.
Aye, it just looks amazing. Now, anybody that's in Sichuan province, and it's 13 hectares, so it's a huge site. China, everybody thinks China drinks a lot of whiskey. They don't really. They drink loads and loads of vodka and loads of soju, but they don't drink. They drink a bit of whiskey, but just like that, they could just turn it on and start saying, "We like whiskey, and we'll drink loads of it," and suddenly you could have lots and lots and lots of people in China.
Here's a bit of news. Michael Matthews coming up with. He says Shane Lowry, that's the golfer, has bought the old Tullamore warehouse building in the town that closed last year. Another distillery in Offaly. They already have 3. So that was the one that was the old closed down when they were building a new one. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, people
will come there with a mistake and won't know the difference.
I know. They'll call it "Tell me more." Tell me more. I'll trademark that, Shane, just in case you've already thought of that. But no, But no, that distillery in China, it just looks fabulous. And who knows?
What's next in the news? What photograph should I search for?
Radaman Estate. we have to talk about Short Cross and the guys down there with their new release. We talked about it last week. Yeah. So they have announced how many and how much their new first release of their Short Cross whiskey is going to be, and it's caused a bit of controversy in that it's the price. Now,
It's to stop the flippers.
Kind of divided a little bit on this because it's a 5-year-old whiskey. It's excellent. I've tasted it. I tasted it a little while back. They sent me a sample of it. It's lovely, but it's 300 quid, which seems extremely excessive. However, my argument on it would be that if it had come out at 150, bearing in mind that this is the first single malt whiskey to appear in Northern Ireland since probably old Cumber, the first new one, if you like. First alternative to Bushmills is probably the best way of putting it. If it appeared up at 100 quid or 150 quid, it would have sold out in a few minutes and then been flipped on the auction sites and probably would have got 250, 300 pound anyway. So it's massively overpriced. But then again, why would the distillery not? Why should they not get that? They're the guys that put all the stuff into it, made all the effort for it, and brought it out. Now, just to fill in a little bit, there are 658 bottles, roughly. I think that's actually the amount. There is 658. Comes in a branded box with a couple of glasses. These will not be repeated. Fully matured in a Grand Cru Bordeaux red wine casks, which are the same type of casks that they've used for the Rassi distillery. And they pay a huge premium for these, by the way. And the Rassi distillery said, "Oh, this is the first time this has been used," and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's yeah, Richard, it is a bit mental. But if they'd have brought it out at 150, it would have been snapped up as the inaugural release, and then probably have went for 250, 300 on an auction site. I think lots of people aren't buying it because lots of people can't flip it. There are plenty of people have bought it, and I think it will probably sell out. It will just take a little bit longer to do.
Does this make it more likely that people will buy it to drink it, but?
If I'm honest, if I bought it, I wouldn't drink it. And the reason being it's a one-off. You know, the first release of something is a one-off. You know, if it comes out, if they release batch 2 or then after this release with thousands of bottles of this, that's still the first one. And
there's Graham Horner saying I'd pay the extra 100 quid to get a 25-year-old Bushmills.
Don't worry, you'll have that option.
And it'll be more than 100 quid you'll be paying, and it'll be more than.
But I mean, let's be honest. Irish whiskey prices are just going nuts. I was talking to a guy recently. He was telling me that to try and buy aged spirit basically has quadrupled in price in the last 2 years. Where you were paying, and whiskey's bought in LPA, litres of pure alcohol. And a few years ago, he was able to buy aged single malt from a certain distillery for, I think he said, €35 an LPA. Now guys are looking in excess of 120 for it. And there just isn't aged stock. It's all basically being sold. So if you're paying €100, even €120, whatever, for 5-year-old stock from Cooley or the Great Northern or wherever it happens to be. Well, you water that down, add on your taxes and all that kind of stuff, and you're starting to add up. It's going to end up being 200 quid for a bit of aged stock. And this is an inaugural release. It comes in this box and all of that kind of jazz. So it is dear. It's expensive. There's no two ways about that. But it would have ended up at something similar to that on an auction site. And good luck to them. I hope they sell it out, because what they do down there, they've been quietly busy in a way doing what they've been doing. And they're really, really nice people. And best of luck to them. Here's to them. I hope they sell out, and I hope they get all the money for it. Yeah. I haven't bought one myself because I can't afford it at the minute. But anyway,
where are we heading next then, Marty?
We're going to head over to the bearded man, Dahi O'Connell, at W.D. O'Connell Whiskey Merchants. He's wanting to expand. He's looking investors. And he's looking €1.5 million. And what he's done is he's bought Kilmacthomas, the old workhouse, Kilmacthomas, I think it's called, down in County Waterford. And he's wanting to bring more stuff into him doing it. Now, what Dahi's basically trying to do is set himself up as a bonder and bottler, where he buys casks, he aged casks, he does whatever. He's buying whiskey that he wants to release, and he's wanting to bottle it and bring it out and basically put his name on it. And it's a bit like any other independent bottler. Basically, what you're buying is someone else's reputation. You're buying their stamp to say, I've selected these casks, I think this is superb, I'm going to present it to you. Now, it'll come from whatever source you need to be, Cooley or Bushmills or whatever it is it's going to be. Now, he's going to pay a premium for all of that these days, but what he's wanting to do is he's wanting €1.5 million, and he's wanting to use that money to expand into new markets. He's wanting to have a warehouse and a bottling facility and all of this and try and bring it in-house. And best of luck to him. It's probably going to be quite difficult. Now, where he's going to get the money, trying to get the money from that is overseas. He's going to try and get Hong Kong and stuff, because he has a history in Hong Kong. He had bars and stuff over there. So he's going to try and bring that in here and bring that investment into Waterford. So good luck to him. You have these independent bottlings are well worth checking out. The likes of Cadenheads, there's some of the Gordon MacPhail stuff. You have even some of the supermarket-y stuff, and I know supermarket people stand by. Sometimes supermarkets do independent bottlings and sell them themselves. So not just as common now as it was a little while ago, but they do that. The likes of Berry and Rudd, we were talking about it last week. So yeah, and he's doing that for Irish whiskey, and there's not really anybody else doing that other than JJ Corey. So it's not to the same extent. So good on him, and I hope he gets his investment.
Still a few news stories to run in the last 5 minutes of the show. What else?
I like this story. There's a councillor on Islay. Me and Justin, by the way, we were down. We went out a wee run, a couple of weeks ago, and there was a tour guide up. Tour guide standing, just at the car park before you get to Ballintoy, pointing stuff out. And this is the difference, folks, between having someone who hasn't a clue what they're talking about versus professionals like what me and Justin would be, right? Because he's standing pointing at all this stuff, and me and him were digging about as we always do. And the boy's going, over there's Islay. That's Islay, the island Islay over there. And over there's the Mullach Kintyre and such. And I says, it's Islay. All right, mate. I did on. Islay's over there and Jura's over there. So he hadn't a clue what he was talking about. So it's Islay.
Well, he's not old enough to remember Isla Sinclair on Shut That Door, Larry Grace's Generation Game, is he?
He was Just awful. But anyway, I wasn't paying him, so it was all right. But yeah, so there's a councillor on Isla who really doesn't want tourism or industry on her island, apparently. Jean,
Do we have a picture of her? Do we?
No, we have a headline. Do we not? No.
No, we don't have that. No.
Well, anyway, the Ardara Distillery. You definitely have a picture of it.
Oh, I do.
Do apologise, guys, folks, because I literally sent these to Justin 2 minutes before.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. They are wanting,
all right.
They're wanting to build, expand a little bit and put in some warehouses. They're going to create six jobs, and a councillor, Jean Moffat, said she doesn't want Islay to be like Craggy Island. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the hell she's talking about. She doesn't want any more traffic on Islay. And what she says is the roads aren't built for this. Now, Islay is the biggest, in terms of per head of population, it generates more tax revenue than anywhere else in the UK. Okay? It's built on whiskey. That's what it does. And it does it in huge volumes. And the councillor said she didn't want to like Craggy Island. And somebody said, a counterpart said, well, this sounds a bit too much like Yes Minister. There's an episode of Yes Minister, which is one of the only other things I would really watch on TV other than Levels and Horses. And it's about a hospital with no patients. And the minister's walking around going, we've got no patients. And everybody says, oh, but it's terrifically well run. And it's basically the same thing. She wants this massive industry of exporting scotch, but she doesn't want anybody to be able to come and see it or them to be able to get it out.
Or celebrate it, which is what makes it massive.
Well, the thing is, she says that the roads aren't fit to cope with all of this.
Well, sure, you need to get a ferry to get to that island.
Well, the thing about it is...
So how many is going to come?
Surely, it's not even a matter... There's loads of people go to Islay to go and do the tourism, Justin.
Yeah, but put them on a bus.
What I'm saying is...
Walk.
If they're building warehouses to transport whiskey about, and they're bringing tourists in, and they're bringing more traffic in, fix the roads. This is not rocket science. Make a better road. I mean, the place generates billions in tax. So why on earth would you not?
I think she'll be voted out.
I think she's
the money was only resting in her account. We didn't say that. I know what you're saying. Yes, no, maybe no. So. You wouldn't know.
I mean, surely, God, this is like government 101. You're building industry, jobs, creating tax revenues, wages for people, and so on and so forth. And you're worrying because a bit of road, you think, oh, it might not be able to take an extra 2 trucks going up and down it a day, and a coach every once in a while. Fix the bloody roads.
That distillery looks beautiful.
Yeah. There's a whole backstory to that. We'll go into that at another date, but hopefully we'll get talking about it at some other point. Yeah,
looks good.
More new distilleries on Islay, and brilliant. I love Islay whiskies.
Where are we heading next then?
India. We're heading over to India, and this is only a quick story because it's not. This isn't in and of itself massively important, but it's a step and an indication, hopefully, of where things are going to go. The Indian state of hang on, Maharashtra. Anyway, whatever it is, it's where Mumbai is. Has cut the import duty of whiskey by 50%. Now the duty's been reduced from 300% on a bottle down to 150, which is still absolutely enormous. But it's still huge, but it shows you hopefully a step in that direction of bringing down import duties in India and hopefully opening up that market to Scotch, Irish, bourbon. And if and fingers crossed, when they do, oh my God, there will be some heap of stuff pumped into that place. It'll just be incredible. people talk about how are people going to get traction in the new whiskey distilleries, how are they going to get traction in Scotch and Irish whiskey and stuff. If India can open up to a level, honestly, sell every bit of it, sell it all, no problem. So it's a little bit of a step in the right direction. Still a long way to go, but I know the UK are in talks with a trade deal for India, which would be massive, massive. There you go.
Here, we've been asked the ultimate question. Where is the bus trip to Mumbai?
Once if Karan can get the boat license, we'll have to get the boat across.
Peter Gabriel saying, evening, you guys, puts a big smile on my face. Thank you very much for that. No mention of the Bone New Make. Get your order in. Pre-orders out for their single pot stir mash, 40% malted barley, 50% green barley, 3.57 oats and 1.7 rye, 1,000 bottles.
Yeah.
What kind of money's in that, Marty?
Not sure. I haven't checked it yet. I've been busy all day. In case you hadn't noticed, I've been busy all day. It was busy all day yesterday too, so I haven't had a job. I've been slacking. I haven't got a chance to check out Boan.
Who's this fella and girl sitting in the barrels? Is that Bill Phil, is it, or is that another final story? There's a couple of barrels here with a woman in a waistcoat and a white coat.
I don't know. You hate to bring it up.
That one?
That's David and Fiona down in Radiman.
Oh, it is. It is.
Look at them looking lovingly at each other, going.
We're going to bring it. Was a bit of a weird one. Yeah, they were on the other night. I seen the show the other night on the other channel. Other channels are available.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, yeah, that's David and Fiona, and yeah,
lovely stuff. Thanks for watching this week, folks. As always, the friend at hand, reconciliation, Northern Ireland.
I don't know what that means.
Don't know what that means. 24 quid.
Is that for the new make? Is it?
Must be.
The new make. It's basically potchine, if you like. Yeah, that'd be fair enough.
There you go. Thanks, Sean. Hi on the far side of the pond. Were Prince Edward Island in tonight? Don't think they were. Maybe they were. Get even to you. We miss you when you don't come and sell Otis. The Bone you make is 200 milliliters, 25 quid. Yeah, yeah, Boan. And that's it. Great show. What's on the show next week? Do we know?
No. In a word, no. You never know. We'll think of something.
I thought we had to go near a mountain that St. Patrick used to go to. Or is that the week after?
I don't know. Well, put it like this, Justin. You know as well as I do. This show's cobbled together normally in about an hour. We put guests, we talk to guests and stuff during the week, but
I know.
What are you talking about? You might tell me this offline.
Slamish Market Supper Club. Slamish Market Supper Club.
Oh my, yeah, aye, that's right. Aye.
Well, forgot about that.
Aye.
Was that a secret? All right.
We need to make sure about that. Forgot about that. Aye, right, anyway.
Okay.
Yum.
All right. Great day. Thanks, James Moira. Where next, Marty? To infinity and beyond.
On
That's
and
a
on.
bottle, by the way, if you want to make one. Yeah. Thanks for entertaining.
Thanks for having us down, James.
It was very informative.
Brilliant day, and yeah, keep up the good work. You're doing.
Are you sure there wasn't one more story before we go?
Well, I've nothing written down. Have you got something to tell me?
I had a wee video that you sent me about rare whiskey lottery deadline approaching. Should we do that before we go?
Well,
do this.
No,
before
don't
we go.
play it. Don't play it. This goes to show you how whiskey's going across the world. This is the news in the States that in Pennsylvania, the Liquor Control Board have actually brought out a whiskey lottery for rare bottles. The way I know the States is different, it brings it out a whole thing where you have to buy the whiskey from the state, even though it's sold through. It's just a tax thing. But you have to register with the state to be allowed to buy whiskey. And I saw this. It's only a few second clip.
Seriously?
100% serious, yeah.
Here we go. What a way to close tonight.
Well, time out for you to get your hands on some rare whiskey.
It's deadline day for the State Liquor Control Board's lottery. You have until 5 tonight to enter the contest. The board is holding 5 different lotteries for 425 bottles of limited release whiskeys. Winners will be selected the week of November 29th. For more information on how to enter, you can head to our website, kdka.com.
What do you think of that? Crazy. Madness.
Well, put it like this, it's not much different than the likes of Jameson and whatnot doing it. So it's just run by the state.
Run by the state. That doesn't sound like laissez-faire politics to me.
Yeah, but jumping in, and you have to register with the state to enter a ballot to be given a chance to buy some whiskey. It's
no problem.
It's a strange world we're living in.
If you want to find out more about the Wild Atlantic Way Distillery, that is the link there on screen now. It's one of the last links there with tagged by us. Good night. Catch you again next week. Remember, wherever you get your podcasts from, ask Alexa to play them. Ask your smart speaker to play them, and you can hear them, and you can take them with you as well. And that's about it. Catch you again live 10 p.m.